In top fives today, top five movies to cry at. And I mean, I might have to add Space Jam because I'll be like just weeping the whole time knowing that, Lola Bunny's no longer a smoke show. But I'm going first today.
Okay.
Because I got to take my pick. I got to have it. I got to have Only the Brave. It's just my weeping movie.
A good one.
Only the Brave, Miles Teller, true story. They're the Hot Shots, California wildfire firemen. And, I guess we kind of have to do spoilers for this, right?
It's a true story. I don't believe in the spoilers on true stories.
Okay, so
I didn't know it was a true story going into it.
But there's a scene where Miles Teller is like not on the job at the moment. He's like, I think he's kind of suspended for like bad behavior almost. So he's not out there with his boys. And this wildfire.
No, you're wrong. First of all, we're gonna go hard spoilers. So if you haven't seen this, skip forward. He was out there. He was on lookout.
Okay.
Remember that? He gets picked up in like a
but I think he's on lookout because he wasn't. I thought he was like on the outs with the team.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because I thought that was when he was being like an asshole and like he needed to learn from Josh Brolin and shit like that. But either way, so he's not there and the whole team gets fucking wiped out. They do this thing where they put their like foil tent over them that like helps you out a little bit, but not when this fucking fire like engulfs them. And then there's a scene where all the fucking family members of the firemen go to like the local high school gym to wait and see because they lost all contact. And so they're waiting, like maybe a couple of them will come home and they're just waiting to see like the door open and see their family come through. And Miles Teller walks through because he's the only one who wasn't there, and it just signals to everybody that they're all fucking dead and he's the only one who made it. And puddle. Like shirt getting wet from crying. Like couldn't breathe from crying at a goddamn, looking at a little TV screen, just sobbing. And he's like, he feels guilty and they're crying because they see him. So it's almost like mean towards him, but it's because they miss their It's the most gut-wrenching scene I've ever seen. And it's real, which is the worst fucking part of it all. So it's probably not the most memorable cry movie that you've heard of.
I think everyone's going to be disappointed by our list, I imagine. Maybe not you.
No, I got some classics in there, I think.
I don't have any classics.
But Only the Brave is like, if you haven't seen it, it's a good movie too. But if you do watch it, buckle the fuck up for that scene.
Okay, my number one is Miracle. Obviously, it ruined the relationship. It's just on one thing I learned.
One day, you know what? Okay, hang on. Yeah, keep going.
It's just on one thing I learned. It was I cried so hard in front of a woman that she decided she could no longer be in love with me over this movie. So yeah, that's it. That's Miracle. I mean, like Miracle isn't even just like I don't have a cry scene. I just cry the entire
whole time.
I cry the entire.
A lot of it's like tears of joy and motivation.
Oh, it's all like remembering like hockey stuff with like when I was younger and like.
But that's what it is that you're actually it's personal. Like I would cry the same way that like you might tear up at the national anthem at a big game, and it's not because you just get emotional. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's like movies like that, sports, pageantry, the backstory of these guys. You cry. You're crying because you're thinking about like you and hockey and your life, and that's why you end up sobbing.
And I'm a failure. Yeah.
Okay, my number two pick is the one thing I learned where John cries at Miracle and then gets broken up by his girlfriend. It's just the most gut-wrenching, sad scene you've ever watched. It's just this kid, he shared a vulnerable moment with his girlfriend, and she just stomped all over him 2 days later. And then he had the most awkward breakup of all time where all he wanted to do was just get out of it with a little bit of pride and backfired, shot himself in the foot. And he's crying and puking, and I'm crying and puking.
I'm not puking. I'm just
dribbling.
I'm just drooling.
Really, I mean, the one thing I learned in series, there's a lot of, there's some decent tear scenes in there.
Oh, is that really your number two?
Yes, that's really my number two. Yeah.
All right, well, you open yourself up then. I wrote this down just in case. I figured it would be gone. Armageddon. I mean, Armageddon is an ultimate cry. Mm-hmm. It is actually still to this day
one scene. To be honest, I don't think it's a cry movie, but it's the scene. Yeah.
I mean, if you cry once in a movie, it's a cry movie.
Agreed. Yeah.
Like Miracle was an exception to the rule there.
Yeah.
But if you cry one time in a movie, because there's
and then if you cry multiple times, then it's like a fucking then it's like this is masochistic. You know?
Yeah. And obviously we're talking about Bruce Willis saving the world, talking to
Harry.
This is the one that I honestly think I've probably seen that movie 50 times. Also, you know the weirdest part about that movie is the opening scene when the asteroid bits first come in.
Smokes that guy.
Smokes the guy, but it just looks exactly like 9/11.
Oh yeah, does it?
They're two. See if you can pull it up, Nick. I
actually just watched it recently, and there's Eddie Griffin is arguing with like the fat who's selling T-Rex toys on the corner, something that like does not.
Bro, I walked by
in New York City, and he just the asteroid hits an individual human, and he just gets blown up.
I was walking by on 6th Avenue the other day, and it was just like it was the most random collection of things being sold at the same time I'd ever seen in my life. Where it was just like, at first it was just like 4 guys hanging out smoking weed, and I think like they're just on the corner like 6th and or like 32nd and 6th or something like that, and it was just like 6 guys, 6 guys hanging out smoking weed, and I think they all decided like, look, if we're gonna be here, we might as well sell stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just like, everyone bring 5 things from home today, and it was just like 2 pairs of boxers like still in their underwear. And then it was like some fucking wrenches, some wrench bits.
It's just like selling garbage.
Some headphones with like not in a box. There was like a couple like a bike lock. It was just like, hey, what do you guys need? What do you need?
Yeah, I need a bike lock. That's what I'm looking for right now on the street corner.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy just gets fucking whacked with a asteroid. It's nuts. Zap! Individual victim of a fucking fireball falling from space.
Bro, look how old those
the cars
are.
I know. It's always the cop cars. They did that in Home Alone too. But yeah, this is like not that old of a movie, right? When did it come out?
I mean, I think I saw it in theaters.
Why do they look that old? But yeah, this scene, like the whole world just gets
forward a bit,
whacked,
Nick. Like
man.
it's basically like the wrapping up of the asteroid attack or the asteroid thing. There's just like kind of like an outward scene of like the destruction it's caused in New York City, and it's just like the 2 Twin Tower buildings like on fire. It's very weird.
It was right there.
No. It's like it's a much slower shot.
This was just Michael Bay's fucking wet dream. You know what I mean? Just like destroying cities like this is probably his favorite thing in the world.
I mean, it's my favorite thing in the world. I just don't get to do it.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man, it's such a
we
great
can clean up some of this dead air, I suppose. But there's fucking one shot. There it is.
Yikes!
Right?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Maybe I got the idea. Jesus fucking Christ. My number 3 pick, I'm going to go with, I got a bunch on my list. I cried a lot of movies. I'm going to go with John Q.
Ooh. When was the last time
I am not going to bury my son. You're going to bury me. I mean, that is, and I have not seen that since becoming a father. I don't think I could watch it.
I was gonna say,
I don't think I would get through it.
Were you like, all right, I got a son now, time to watch John Q?
No, I don't think I'll do it. I don't think I will subject myself to that. I was like emotional about that as like a kid with like not a responsibility in the world. Thinking about now, if I like had to do that for my son and the way he's got the gun to his head and he's like made peace with killing himself so his son can have his heart. I mean that's I think it's nobody else in the world would pick that as like their favorite Denzel performance.
It's a great,
but it's awesome, and it's just a cool movie. It's just it's a ridiculous concept, but it's fucking awesome. Eddie Griffin in that one as well. But yeah, that whole speech, like, I'm not gonna bury my son. My son's gonna bury me. Woo, baby. And when he does like the weightlifting thing, he's like, let me see your muscles.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start crying now thinking about it.
Okay, I'm gonna go with weird choice, given that I just forced us to point out the 9/11 scene in Armageddon. Remember Me. I actually cried. That's the Pierce Brosnan and Robert Pattinson. It's the one. That's the one
that ends with the
9/11.
Yeah.
But I don't cry at that. I actually laugh at that because it's so preposterous. But I remember when I was in college, my mom recommended. No, I'm sorry. When I was done with college, not graduated, but I just like didn't have a job and didn't do anything really except like write and like
Yeah,
try
yeah,
and
yeah.
blog and do
Right,
that shit.
right.
And my mom saw that movie and told me that it reminded her of me. And then she's like, it just reminds me a lot of like you. Like you should just watch it.
Fucking
And it's just
Polly.
this kind of kid who just doesn't give a fuck and likes to drink and write and whatever.
And then he dies in 9/11.
And like, he also has a bad relationship with his father, which I don't have. But it's not like
Always baffling sometimes, man.
And I was like, I watched it and I cried a lot. So like, there were definitely similarities. Where it was like, okay, I can definitely see myself in this scene. Like that would make me cry, and I can see myself doing this, and that would make me cry. And then like at the end, I just started laughing out loud. Just
That ending is just
like, what the fuck, mom?
Yeah, like really, mom?
Like,
That ending will make you laugh like out loud no matter what. If someone has just directly compared you to that, I mean, forget about it. I'm gonna go to the animated front. Fox and the Hound. Have you ever seen that movie? Do you know the premise of that movie?
I don't.
It is.
Wait, maybe it's an older one,
sickening.
right?
Yes.
Okay, I was thinking Fantastic Mr. Fox.
No.
Which is Clooney's animated movie.
Fox and the Hound is a sickening Disney
This
film.
I think I have
It's
seen,
like
but-
a fox and a hound who, when they're pups, meet each other and become friendly. And then as they become like teenagers, if you will, it's like, no, you guys are professionally opposed. Like, we hunt foxes and hounds have to like go, like kill the fox, and you guys can't be friends anymore. And they're just kind of like, why can't we be friends, fox? Why can't we be friends, hound? And it is, I'm like, who called for this movie? What's the lesson here for the children?
Well, hang on.
That's-
How does it end?
I don't really remember. I don't think
Okay, well, if it ends with them being friends, then
I don't think it does.
Okay.
I think it ends.
I don't think it does. I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Really?
There's an old woman who's like owns the hound, who's like, I think she dies at one point. But no, I don't think there's a happy ending. And there's just so many scenes of like, why can't we just be friends? And they're like, because the world won't let you. Like, you have to kill each other. Jesus Christ
Yeah,
on the cross.
it's not a happy ending.
Yeah, I think one of them dies, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think
they don't kill each other though. That's better, at
I
least.
mean, killing a, that's what, I don't know. I don't think there's gonna be on your list, but Bambi's probably on some people's lists. Like,
Yeah.
killing animals in like a cartoon or in a movie is pretty fucking. You're guaranteed waterworks, and I think almost a cheap gimmick. It's like, you know what you're doing here. Fuck off.
So my number 4, Gladiator. Gladiator.
Classic.
The fucking speech. The fucking. The
The mother and son hanging. When he finds them dead. When he's holding their feet, that's actually great acting because there's snot. He's crying and there's snot. It's like, that's how. If you ever saw your kids and wife burnt and hanging, you wouldn't just be like, you'd be like,
That's actually a multiple cry movie.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
should
That's up
be a
there.
Higher,
Yep.
That should be higher.
That's a great one.
multiple cry movie. Also, real quick, I just watched a video on Russell Crowe explaining how he, like, almost like crack science, explaining how he taught Ed Sheeran to drink without hangovers, and it's the most dad thing ever, which is like he's like just like really like firing up this concoction of how you can just like this drink that doesn't give you hangovers. And at the end of the day, thank you, Jack. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's just water. Like
He's
like,
just drink more
he's like-
water?
He's like, now what you want to do is you take a little of the tequila there, right? You do the fucking silver, and you pour it over ice, right? And you let that sit there for about 15 minutes, and then you put in some passion fruit juice, and then after that, 15 more minutes sitting there, and then you pour that over new ice, and then you put in a bunch of new water. with it.
water it down.
Right? And he's like, and Ed's drinking. He calls me the next morning at 5 a.m. He says, Ross, I feel great.
Yeah, it's because you had gallons of water and only a little bit of alcohol.
Yeah. I said, Ed, the secret's hydration. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And like, it's like a video that has like 2 million views.
Yeah.
Rudy showed it to me, being like, yo, you gotta see this
Yeah.
fucking, how Russell Crowe drinks. It's like, I think he called it like, it's like crackhead drinking. Like, it's crazy science. I was like, it's just watered down drinks, man.
By the way, that was a good Australian accent.
Yeah.
Nailed that one there. All right, my final pick. I have, personally for me, I probably would go Field of Dreams for that one moment. Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch? But I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to go with simply the most like gratuitous, sad movie of all time, Stepmom.
Stepmom.
Have you ever seen Stepmom?
No.
Julia Roberts, Susan Sarandon. I think Susan Sarandon has cancer and dies, and then Julia Roberts takes over as the stepmom, and it's just it's just deplorably sad. It's like, what are you even doing to us here? There's kids and moms dying and moms taking over, and I think there's like a scene. I've only seen it like the one time because I was like, I'll never subject myself to this again. I think there's a scene where like Susan Sarandon tells like Julia Roberts to kind of like take the torch and like take care of my kids, and it's just like, oh my fucking God, who wrote this? This is just disgusting. That movie is a cry from start to finish. Like, you'll just cry. It's just a steady cry the whole time.
Cry mix.
Oh yeah, I got cartoons, I got chick flicks, I got action movies, I got it all. Stepmom is disgusting, and I can't even imagine if you have a dead mom. No, forget it.
Okay, my number 5 is, I think people are gonna be like, I cry when I watch Rudy. I just don't watch Rudy a lot. You know what I mean? Like, these other ones are movies I see kind of regularly.
Rudy's going to be on a lot of guys' lists. So it's like Brian's Song.
Never seen Brian's Song.
Like the sports ones are up there, but
like it would be disingegeneous for me to put Rudy on the list.
Right.
It would be.
Right.
People would probably get mad that it's on someone's list, but like.
Right.
That's
why
again,
I
cry when I watch it.
Dreams,
It's just not like, I don't watch it a ton.
Right.
And although, as I'm saying all of this, the movie, the one I'm going to put for number 5, I don't watch a ton either, but it's P.S. I Love You. P.S. I Love You with Gerard Butler.
Oh, yeah.
It's Gerard Butler and Hilary Swank.
Yes.
And it is...
That's like a letter from a
dead.
Yes.
He's dead, and he like sends her to Ireland to be like...
Brutal.
Like, I want, and it's like, but like wants her to like experience Ireland and...
Yes.
I think it's Ireland. Maybe it's Scotland. I forget.
Truly horrific.
It's Ireland.
It's Ireland,
They
but
do
he's
that
Scottish.
It's
So
like,
why don't they just do it in Scotland?
It's like your accent. Is it Irish? Is it Scottish? I don't know. I can't tell. It's one of the two.
Yeah,
I mean,
and all the notes are P.S. I Love You. It is... I'm actually tearing up right now thinking about it.
Yep.
Next subject!
I mean, some people throw out The Notebook, same sort of thing with the
seen
letters.
Never seen The Notebook.
The Notebook is more of like a
crazy that I've
good
never
chick
seen The
flick.
Notebook,
It's definitely
but-
sad, but I had Homeward Bound on my list as well. There's that sad scene with Shadow. Click by Adam Sandler is a
never seen it.
grossly emotional movie that you just don't expect to get from Adam Sandler.
I think what I'm learning is I largely avoid emotional movies.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
like I don't.
Smart man.
I like accidentally.
Manchester
cry
by the
during-
Sea, where John just fucking knee slaps it up. That's a fucking
Not
funny
a sad movie.
Marley and
An
Me
uplifting movie about
with the
moving
dog.
on through life. Never seen Marley and Me.
Yeah, that one I didn't subject myself to. And Ladder 49 was another one that I wept in theaters. The only time I've ever cried in theaters. Ladder 49 I watched like after 9/11 in theaters with my buddy who lost his dad in 9/11, and I was crying more than him. He was always like stoic about everything. He was just watching that movie, just eating it, and I was a couple of people down. We went to as a whole big group, and I had like the girls in our group like giving me tissues. I was like, in public crying is a whole other fucking scene.
This isn't quite. I didn't cry during this or anything like that. But when one of my best friends lost his mother, and me and another one of our best friends drove up there to like not console him, but just be like, like be with him until the wake and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just like I don't really go console. It's like I'm good to have around when you don't want to think about it.
Right. I'll take your mind off it. Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
If we're
be
gonna
like
talk
the
about
guy
it, not your guy.
Yeah. I'm not the guy. But, so it's actually the friend who is the guy I talk about. We're a good tag team.
Yeah.
But we were like, let's get his mind off it. Let's go to the movies. And we went to go see Get Rich or Die Trying.
And then mom dies right away.
Opening scene, they're burying his mom. I was like, we fucked that one up.
Yeah. Certainly didn't get the mind off it there. 96% of you motherfuckers watch these videos and aren't subscribed. Shout out to the 4%. You are good people. 4% of people are watching our clips.
That's about what I would guess the breakdown of
good people versus bad
demographics
people
in the world.
Yeah.
Good people versus bad people. Probably about 96% to 4.
That's
but
fair.
Be a good person.
But it's not even. I'm not even asking you to be a good person. I'm asking you to push a button.
Yeah,
I'm asking you to click a button.
You can be a bad person still, but just click the button.
You can be a piece of shit. Just click subscribe. 96% of you watch these clips and they're like, oh my God, that was a funny clip from this podcast. I liked it. And I'm just not going to help them out. The people who work to make it, the people who work to produce it, to post it, to upload it, and there's nothing from you. You're a bad person if you don't subscribe.
Be a good one.